Hey, hi, ho, and howdy, huntsmen and huntresses. My name is Shannon L. Shook, and this is Double Hit. If you would be so kind as to join me in a little stroll through Remnant, Mistral, Atlas, and an unnamed nightmarish hellscape of doom and destruction, I'd like to give you my review cap of the first episode of RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 1, The Next Step. Oh, and obviously there's going to be the finest of spoilers, so, you know, hit it! Before we get into the episode, a quick bit of backstory. RWBY. Most likely, if you're here, you know all about it. A tale of 4 kick-ass girls and their friends and family who do their very best to survive living on Remnant. A planet filled to the brim with everything you could ever need to justify living out a life of badass heroing. Over the top, and no, I don't mean that as an insult, villains, bent on world domination and other assorted tomfuckery. Revolutionary freedom fighters who've decided to take things a tad bit too far.
Running away again? Is that what you've become, my love? A coward?
Why are you doing this?
You and I were going to change the world, remember? We were destined to light the fires of revolution. Consider this the spark.
And of course, the creatures of Grimm.
Please don't.
Ew. Despite all that... Stop it. In spite of all that unpleasantness, our 4 heroines make it their mission to save the day and finally bring peace and survive! Huh. Well, that seems to be going well. The previous volume of RWBY left a bit of a sour taste in our mouths and an arrow in our hearts. This show, that we had previously only known to be a source of never-ending joy, badass fight scenes, and just plain bad cat puns, had become what had been prophesied by the music that accompanied the series for so long. A world filled with darkness and nightmarish despair. So, when the final episode of RWBY Volume 3 ended with the intro to Cortana's evil stepmother,
this is the beginning of the end, Ozpin. And I can't wait to watch you burn.
I was very curious how things were going to continue with the series in the future. Do Miles and Carrie take us all to Game of Thrones Walking Dead Town every episode? Do we return to the days of mortal food combat? Or do we try to find a middle ground? I was curious what the decision would be, but I wasn't especially worried. I've been a Rooster Teeth fan since the very first episodes of Red vs. Blue came out oh so many years ago. A show which has proven to me countless times over in recent years that you can absolutely do badass and dark mixed with lighthearted and comedic. And do it well. In the end, I just had to put faith in Miles and Carrie to manage to pull that off again with little Rubes and her friends. And holy shit did they pull it off! From the Volume 4 character short, to the intro, to, in my opinion, the best first episode to a volume yet, the RWBY has proven that they love this series and are going to make it the best it can possibly be. But, enough of me gushing over the series prior, or at least let's save it for another review, shall we? Let's actually start this here. Look at Chapter 1 of RWBY Volume 4. Right off the bat, I need to give the finest of props to the art and animation change the series has gone through since the end of Volume 3. The switch from poser to Maya has done amazing things for the series, and this is coming from someone who, when they first saw the character short, had a hefty dislike for it. It seems so alien and different from what seemed to me like the best RWBY could possibly be. And yes, the truth is I still very much like the Volume 3 look. That being said, Volume 4's look has now completely taken over my very existence on this earth. And the honest-to-God reason is this scene specifically. This scene almost instantly took away any dislike I had had for the art style change previously. Especially since my biggest, and only real gripe, I've ever had with the animation is that I always thought the Grimm moved wrong. Everything about them shouted, "Animal! Monster!" But their movement shouted, "Kill me! I am Stickman Dog, and why do I move like an old man evacuates his bladder?" Very poorly is what I was getting at. Anyway, but the animation on the Grimm this volume has been amazing, and it blows me away every time I see it. All of that improvement alongside the disturbing image of a Beowulf dragging itself out of the bubbling puddle of Grimm evil ooze stuff. Along with the haunting recreation of Lucius Natore playing in the background, probably mispronounced that, not only solidified the new art style as my new personal favorite, but this entire scene, including the next one, has become one of my favorite in the entirety of the series' run. Speaking of which, after pulling out of Build-A-Grimm Workshop, we are immediately introduced to some familiar faces. And the mightiest of evil eyebrows. This was something I didn't in any way expect. Now, I knew we wouldn't be done seeing Em and Merc due to something Miles has mentioned in the Volume 3 commentaries. And even if it hadn't been said, it'd be weird to simply no longer see them in the series after their importance in the previous volume. You know, with the murdering and all that. But I really hadn't expected to see them so soon. I mean, I honestly didn't expect to see Prince Zook, Cinder, so soon as well. Nor did I expect to see her deep-fried and one-eyed. I had considered the possibility of her returning burned, or worse for wear, primarily because I thought it would be beautifully ironic to see her roasty and toasty after being the fire-throwing fuckwit we've known her to be. But I hadn't expected to see her in such a completely defeated state. While we don't know the specifics, it's quickly made obvious that whatever Ruby Silver Eye's powers managed to actually do to Cinder, it wasn't fucking good. Well, not for Cinder at least. Regardless, whatever actually went down to Chinatown during the little kerfuffle, all we know is that Cinder is completely unable to speak. And to top it all off, she now has a face that would make even Locust proud. She's honestly still weirdly attractive, though. What, I'm just being honest? You wouldn't hit that. With, like, a baseball bat. I mean, what? Though Cinder and co. aren't the only squad of douche buckets, and I say that with all love and respect. Please don't kill me, Tyrion. We get introduced to this episode. While at Villains Anonymous, we get our first look at Salem's Squaw. Let's start off with Dr. Watts. Our newest sinister, sassy, smarmy smartass, and our current first place pick for the Greatest Mustache and Remnant Award. Sorry, Port. Fuck you, Schnee. Probably. I don't know. You could be a great guy. You definitely won't be, but you could be. Also, you absolutely look like you've owned slaves. I'm just saying it here and now. I'm sorry. RWBY does continue to show its ever-constant growth with the introduction of Christopher Sabat as the Good Doctor. While I do very much like what Watts could mean for the series in the future, he still has to grow on me a bit. Not that I dislike his character in any way, he's simply not my favorite. No, we'll be saving the best for laugh. Anyway, another member of good old Team Witch we meet is the big beautiful bear man that is Hazel. I can't say for sure who his voice actor is. Not actually sure if any of us know. It's a conspiracy, I tells you. But I do enjoy his voice. Fitting of a man of his bulging majesticality. He admittedly has very little going for him so far info-wise other than that, though. Though he does go out of his way to drop a noteworthy tidbit of knowledge for us to stew over that I'll get to in a moment. Hazel is so far my least favorite of the new big bads, but that of course could change in the future. But for now... Tyrion, fuck I love you. You beautiful fucking nut bar with rainbow murder sprinkles. Tyrion is my spirit animal and I love everything about him. The first time I saw his devious smile in the intro, I knew he was gonna be something pretty neat. And boy fucking howdy is he. Good old Josh Grill joins RWBY with a fantastic laugh and a smile that could make any woman wet. With blood. The fuck did you think I meant? Fucking weirdos? I say, as if that was any less weird than what I actually meant. God damn it. It's also worth noting that during this scene, there are 7 chairs available, but only 5 are filled, while 2 still remain empty, leaving Em and Merc to stand like the losers they are. That's right, eyebrows. You want to fucking fight about it? Fucking kick bitch. A lot of people have obviously speculated who those two chairs belong to, if anyone at all. You know, because it's probably just like a fashion statement or something like that. Raven seems to be the one everyone can kind of get behind, me included. But the question is who the last chair belongs to. Some think Adam, which is a possibility, but seeing as he was recruited by Cinder, it seems to me that he would be more in the same, bitch stand position that Em and Merc are in, which leads me to come up with my own possible theory for who it could be. And honestly, if I could pick anyone to have it be, at least out of the people we do know that already exist, I want Dr. Merlot in that fucking chair soon. I don't know why. I assume it's because I think he was so underutilized in the video game, and I would very much like to see more of him in the future. I don't know how well he would fit in with this little Legion of Doom thing we got going, but I think it would be awesome. Especially since we got that little redux of his theme earlier. On to the events of our Legion of Doom potluck. After seeing Cinder for the first time again since last season, we notice very quickly that she and the other members of Witch don't really see eye to eye. Watts, most of all, seems to clearly dislike Cinder, or at the very least enjoys toying with her fragile female emotions. This is a joke. It's not, I hate that I have to say this, but fucking goddamn it. Well, Tyrion seems to be content with elaborating what he would have done in her place.
Eye for an eye.
And Hazel don't give no fucks because he's a strong, independent woman and he don't need no man. It becomes very apparent that while Cinder may potentially be the strongest out of Witch, because of Les Maîtres and Power d'Amber, and is soon stated to have killed Ozpin, which, by the way, I call bullshit, she is not nearly as well respected as the others, except for seemingly by Madame Grimly von Witchbitch, who quickly makes her entrance on the world's quietest segue. You might not get it now, but when you rewatch that episode, you understand. You understand what I'm saying. Lady Murder von Evil Satan quickly puts an end to Watts' douchebaggery and reassures Cinder that Mommy won't leave her like Daddy did, stating that Cinder is to remain there while Watts is to take her place meeting Deep Throat and Mistral. Hazel is then sent off to meet with the leader of the White Fang, one Sienna Khan. Please be a Tiger Faunus, please be a Tiger Faunus, please be a Tiger Faunus. In a meeting set up by the one and only Adam Slap Your Ex and dismember her gal pal Taurus, who apparently isn't the leader of the White Fang. Fuck, I pushed for that so hard. It's Neo being the illusionist in Volume 3 all over again. Leaving dear sweet Tyrion to go after the Spring Maid. Oh, wait, no. He's not doing that anymore. He's gonna go hunt Ruby down now. Oh. This can only end well.
Eye for an eye.
It's also worth noting that during this discussion of nefarious plans, Hazel states that Cinder shouldn't have had any problem stopping Ruby, even with her special eyes, saying that they've dealt with people like that before. For the uninitiated, Supermom, baker of cookies and slayer of giant monsters, was rendered dead at some point before the series began. That, and we know Summer had Silver Eyes powers as well. So, which one of you fucks did it? Watts? Hazel? Tyrion? You got something you want to share with the class? Honestly, I dig the concept that they're responsible for her death. But honestly, if I had to pick anyone at all to say that I kind of hope did it, for story purposes and shit, honestly, I'd have to say Raven. I just like how much that could potentially mean for Le Future. Know what I mean? Last but not least, we learn of the next step on Evil Plan Take Over the World 2 Electric Boogaloo, bringing down Haven Academy. These villain types really do enjoy murdering teenagers and destroying towers, which I can only assume are compensation for small penises. And, communication and stuff, I guess. After leaving Nightmares for Tots HQ, we take a quick detour to Farmville to visit a wannabe member of Team Lads. I'm looking at you, little Jay. Just kidding, I fucking love you, man. Hop, 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 hop. Who seems to have had a prophetic dream about Tyrion's majestic ponytail. That or it was just a cool transition, but probably the former. He, and I'm just gonna call him Joseph, seeing as that's the name many in the fandom seem to enjoy calling him, then continues to work on the farm he calls home, before quickly transitioning to good old Team Junior. Wait. No, that doesn't sound right. Team Ranger. There we go. In the woodland of Anima, with Nora and Ren questioning the name of their team. One of them being obviously wrong. John, wearing his same old duds as always, quickly shuts them down and readies for the arrival of Little Red, Little Red. Dear sweet Ruby, like the girl in the story she alludes to, brings a massive rock golem of Doomageddon-ocalypse to her dear old grandmother's house. The reject Regirock, soon to be revealed to be a new form of Grimm, if, count the white trailer in the manga. A Geist, a phantom-esque Grimm capable of possessing inanimate objects and wearing them like someone wears shame coming home from a one-night stand.
His arm is a tree! His arm is a tree!
Yes, Jean. Yes, it is. The gang work together attempting to bring the Grimm down. Nora as the muscle, Jean as the distraction, comic relief. Oh, Jean, stop, please. And strategist. Ruby is Halucha dropping a flying press, and Ren is the ass-kicking sex appeal. Oh, you beautiful bastard. I'd like to just real quickly say shout out to Neef, by the way. You're a fucking superstar, dude. I'm so happy to have you part of the RWBY family. Now back onto the stupid jokes. After finishing off the Petrogeistus with a sugar rush and a beautiful headshot, the team returns to a nearby village to collect their reward. Boats and hoes. That doesn't sound right either. Instead of delicious muns, the team returns to a local blacksmith, where the gang had apparently chosen their payment in the form of a brand new spankin', sexy, one-of-a-kind armor and weapon combo for... If you guys don't mind, I'm going to drop the not really all that funny stuff for a moment of simple honest thought. When I first saw Jean's armor and Crocea Moore's upgrade, I didn't take it super well. You see, I had already spoiled myself by seeing the Volume 4 poster and the intro, so I knew that Jean had done up his armor with a nice addition of bronze, an obvious nod to Puro. But I didn't notice the shield. When Jean says, from a friend, I kind of completely broke. For those who don't know, which is probably all of you, Puro is my favorite character in RWBY. She had been since her introduction. She's honestly one of my favorite female characters in any series ever. Losing her hurt. I remember watching Cinder fire that last arrow and just sitting in complete silence, unable to process what had happened to my character that I just loved so fucking much. It wasn't until Crow finally said,
"She's gone,"
that I had to stop the video and just give up and cry. Seeing how Puro was being honored by her lover of all of 4 minutes hit me pretty hard. And to be honest, as much as it hurt, I loved every second of how that felt. It didn't feel like she was going to be just forgotten and left behind like she very well could have been. And for that, I have to say thank you for whoever it was that RT decided to make that thing a thing. You have my honest and sincerest thank you. Oh, that and the Pumpkin Pete hoodie thing was fucking amazing, because it made me laugh and it made me feel all that much more. Even if Ruby's face damn near gave me a heart attack, my body was not ready for anything that happened in that scene, and I'm so glad it did. Except for maybe the Ruby's face thing. I probably could have gone without that, but it was still cool. Finally, the gang makes their way outside, Jean rocking his new outfit and weapon, and all of them ready to continue their long journey to Haven Academy. The last thing we get to see this episode is a transition to Atlas, where we get our first look at the Ice Queen since she got put on Daddy's leash. Damn, that sounds a bit worse than it did in my head. As well as a very short introduction to a butler named Klein. Voiced by J. Michael Tatum, by the way. Which is pretty neat. The last thing we see is Weiss leaving to meet up with Daddy Dearest. This can only go well. So there you have it, folks. Chapter 1, the next step. As I said before, a fantastic start to the season, full of chuckles.
His arm is a tree! His arm is a tree!
Yes, it is, Jean. Yes, it is. Spooks.
Eye for an eye.
And of course, a few tears. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait for Chapter 2. I'll see you guys in the next review cap of RWBY Volume 4. Toodles doodles! Hey gang, sorry this came out as late as it did. I didn't actually manage to even get started on this review until about Wednesday. Primarily because I had no idea that I wanted to do it until then. So it's later than I would have preferred, but hopefully next week I can get the review cap out to you so much sooner. If you guys dug the vid, be sure to stick around for more videos like this here on Double Hit.
Eye for an eye.